Well, good morning. Just made it out to the farm. It's a little bit windy today, not bad. Slight breeze, pretty good rain. Supposed to rain for the next 4 or 5 hours, then rain again tonight. It's 7 o'clock. You can see headlights are on the truck. Just getting here as the sun's coming up. So Dave's already out there getting the mulcher ready. We're gonna burn some piles today and get some other work done. So we'll bring you along for the ride. Thanks for joining. Well, Dave's all ready to go. He's quick. We got a new air cleaner. A tree tried to take him out last week. Here Dave headed off. Oh, where's he at? Where's he at? There he goes. Okay, making our way over to the other side of the farm. Dave's over there now. There's the cornfield. Come back by and look at it. The corn's looking tired, losing its color. It knows the season's over. The leaves are all turning at this point. Have some small skinny piles over here we're going to get burned up today, or try to. I can keep it on the road. Trying to film, drink coffee, and drive a truck through a bumpy field all at once is definitely not ideal. Okay, here's that field now. As you can see, there's the occasional pile that just didn't burn. And we'll either mulch those, come out the grapple. It'd be nice to pick up the bigger logs. We can carry them over and put them in a pile somewhere. Reburn them. Little stuff will just go away. George has already disked kind of everything that you can, which is good. Dave's clearing on this one. So it was raining good up till a few minutes ago. Looks like another wave's gonna come through. Dave's go ahead and mulching just so we can get by on this side of the pile. It's a little pile. There's nothing out here for it to burn if it got away from us. We just sure like to be cautious, and this has to be mulched anyways. It's just part of it. rough out here. Dozer tracks and but it sure is a good feeling. I know I've said that before. This was a really long, skinny, narrow pile of trees, mostly birch, and a little bit damp as they were all laying on the ground. But after setting and drying out for most of the summer, they did burn up pretty good. And this is some of the last of the really small piles that we worry about being able to burn if there's any snow on them. But it was the perfect day for taking care of this chore. Started the dozer a few minutes ago, let it warm up, make sure it's up and running. Don't think we're going to need it right away, but everything about this is to be cautious. Burning more piles. Pretty much what today's going to be. Going fast. Down the hill's a little slow starter, but that's okay. It'll go. Nothing like a pleasant fall evening spending a little time around the campfire. Okay, maybe this one's a little more than a campfire. Oh, we forgot our marshmallows. There's something about standing next to a warm fire on a cool fall night. The crackle of the fire and the smell of the smoke gives you a chance to slow down and reflect on the day. And enjoy the moment, because you know it's not going to last. Good morning. About 6:30. Like it rained a little bit last night. It's still sprinkling. It's about 42 degrees. And window doesn't look smeared, but lights come out that way on the camera. Okay. About halfway down the road. A little bit of traffic in front of us. So it's morning. People either heading out to hunt for the day or road hunting, one of the two. Today we're going to be doing some more burning. It's wet. We still have lots of piles to go. Let's see, coming up on the bridge. I guess I better pay attention to this for a minute. They've already brought in some of the materials for replacing these bridges, some pilings. They're staged gravel and sand. I know they've been blasting up on the hill. That'll be for more rock and fill. That's rough. Have to give an update on the bridge work when it happens. I believe they're going to use the old bridges, set them to the side for access while they're installing the new bridges. The new bridges are over 100 foot long and 24 foot wide. So very nice bridges, plenty of bridge for this road for a long time. And if they're going to build the bridges, they're going to do that right, get that handled. That way as traffic increases and the road use increases, the bridges are there and ready to go, which is important. So, little rainy today, overcast, be somewhere in the mid-50s today. Dave should already be there. He's a little earlier riser than me. Yeah. These are some of the larger piles and are primarily of spruce trees and poplar trees. And as you can see off in the distance, they are very impressive when they burn.
Oh, look at the one behind it.
It's burning good now. Probably need to move the truck. Got a few fires lit. Some of the smaller piles up here on top of the hill. Okay, burning piles this morning. Good heavy rain last night. Everything's very wet. So we decided to go ahead and burn some more piles. We're almost at the end of the majority of piles. Dave's over mulching, working around the other two piles that are just on the other side of this swampy ground so we can keep an eye on them. Nice thing is, these piles burn up in no time flat. Within an hour to 2 hours, there is nothing left. You can see off in the distance the smoldering remains of yesterday's fires. So they're all gone. So we lit these about 7:30, maybe close to 8 o'clock. So by noon, they'll pretty much be down to nothing. And that's the way we like it. There's still quite a few to burn. I can see here 2, 4, 6, 8. There's about 10 on this hill. That'll be for the next couple weeks. Okay, set the camera up and did a little footage of consolidating this burn pile. This little old John Deere dozer is about perfect for this kind of work. She's about wore out, but it's good enough for pushing piles together, moving logs around, that kind of thing. Farm life's a good place for an old dozer to go retire. Okay, this is kind of the edge of an island of trees in the middle of the farm. And for some reason it is wet here. You can see the water. Doesn't really do it justice, but but the trees do grow pretty big, so they like it. So if nothing else, it'll be grass. Maybe it'll dry out enough it can be hay ground. If not, it'll just be grass in the open area. Otherwise, it's that snarled, tangled mess of logs we keep seeing, which isn't good for anything. So, okay, I'll get with it. Consolidating piles from yesterday and doing other things. Dave is on the other side of the farm. So it is windy and wet, which is okay. The piles are all burned down. I'll go ahead and cook down the rest of the way. The last of the piles in the far field are finishing burning. Okay, picking more corn. It's a cool, wet day, trying to figure out which ones are fat enough. And sometimes they look good, but when you touch them, they're not quite. if we can get another week without any frost, a lot of these will go ahead and fill out. They're not going to get any bigger as far as number of kernels or length. They're going to stay just a hair short. Well, it's definitely that time of year. We need to get the pumps picked up, pulled out of the water, make sure they're drained, and put them away for the winter. As you can see, the pump's just set up on a piece of plywood and fastened down to some logs. Since this was our first year, we weren't really sure where we wanted to get water out of the lake and what the best way was going to be. So this was just temporary. And more than likely for the next few years, we'll change locations and pick spots based on where the crops are and how we can make improvements. In hindsight, it might have been a good idea to back the truck down a little closer, but apparently I needed the exercise that day.
Should have probably did this about 4 days ago whenever we had sun. Or a little bit last weekend whenever we had sun. But no, we waited until it's rainy, windy, and about 45 degrees and windy.
We have a total of 3 rolls, 300 foot long, of this 3-inch blue hose, and it was really nice to move water across the farm with it. It's kind of big to handle though, definitely a workout rolling it up. But boy, you sure can move a lot of water with it. Okay, here's our little pond. Let's see if there's any water in it. Nope, it is dry. In the spring, this pond was waist deep, but now it's not. So we'll unhook everything, put it in winter storage. Well, it's approaching 2 o'clock at this point, so it's been 6 hours or so since we lit these fires. And I just walked over to check one out, and there's just about nothing left. So pretty good to get one to burn down to this point. Again, there's a few stragglers. After the pile cools off and it rains on it, we can either mulch it or we'll collect the logs and put them in another pile. But this one's still plenty warm for sure. And that's also all part of taking the dozer and consolidating, kind of pushing them together to get them to finish burning up as much as possible. Ah, do you hear that? Yeah, I screwed that fender down that was banging. No more banging. Believe it or not, we actually had an airboat cross the road yesterday. Let's see if we can find his trail. Yeah, that's where he was going. I don't know if you can see a trail right through there. It's pretty rough crossing the gravel road with an airboat. I guess with enough horsepower you can get anything done. Okay, there's sand they're going to use for the bridge projects. And here's the pilings they'll be using. So they'll be driving those into the ground a certain distance and then putting the bridges on top of them. Pretty nice to see. They're getting ready. New bridges. Well, if the wind doesn't blow me or the camera over, we'd sure like to thank you guys for stopping by, and we're looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. That's the pile for next time. Have to stay tuned and see how that one burns. Well, if you wonder how that corn gets to town to get sold, there it is, getting on the plane with me and Adrian, headed to Anchorage.